All right, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, the 16th of January, 2024. And this is our Finance and Administration Committee, along with a special meeting of the Board of Directors of the West Basin Water District. So welcome, everyone. Let's first do a roll call to determine quorum. DJ, call the roll, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. If you would not mind, I prefer to wait 15 more seconds. 14, yep.
15 seconds.
And I shall begin. Director Harold Williams.
Here.
Chairman Scott Houston.
Here.
Director Gloria Gray. Director Don Deere.
Here.
Director Desi Alvarez. Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, DJ. Public comment. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak?
Mr. Chairman, we have not received any requests for public comment, though this meeting is being held both in person and virtually. If anybody would like to make a comment under public comment, please indicate so by raising a virtual hand. And Mr. Chairman, I do not see any requests for public comment.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. So presentations, we have no presentation.
That is correct.
We'll go to our action calendar 5A, approval of minutes.
Mr. Chairman, the first item that before you is item, 5A, approval of minutes. For this presentation, we have Desiree Quintero, our manager of administration.
Good morning, members of the committee and board. Item 5A, approval of minutes, can be found beginning on packet page 4. The minutes for the West Basin Municipal Water District Board of Directors meetings are an integral part of the public meeting process. Minutes provide a history of the actions taken at board meetings, which is informative not only for members of the public, but for other stakeholders as well. The following minutes have been attached for the board's consideration. December 20th, 2023 special board meeting minutes. The minutes can be found beginning on packet page 6. With that, I would like to read the recommendation. Staff recommends that the board approve the December 20th, 2023 special board meeting minutes.
All right, very good. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Director Williams.
I have none. I would move that this goes forward to the board.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any questions, Director Deere?
No questions.
Okay, great. So I'll concur with Director Williams. We'll move these forward with recommendation of yes to full board. Okay, next is 5B as in boy, annual board reorganization.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this item is a procedural item that's brought to the committee, actually the board each year. And for this presentation, again, we have Desiree Quintero, our manager of administration.
Thank you. Item 5B, annual board reorganization, can be found beginning on packet page 11. The administrative code, section 2-1.202, officers of the board states the board shall reorganize in January of each year at its first regular meeting by electing one of its members as president. At the same time, the board may also select a vice president who shall be a board member, a treasurer and secretary who may be members of the board, and a deputy treasurer and deputy secretary who will be district staff members. The election of officers of the board of directors facilitates the appointment of committees and assignment of representatives to affiliate organizations, as well as the operations of West Basin Municipal Water District. In order for the board to make a change in the election policy of the presidency, the board must refer the matter to the Finance and Administration Committee with recommendation to the board. The current board officers are as follows: Scott Houston, President; Desi Alvarez, Vice President; Harold C. Williams, Treasurer; Gloria G. Gray, Secretary. Current appointed officers are as follows: Marianne Rexroad, Deputy Treasurer, and Desiree Quintero, Deputy Secretary. Staff asks that the committee provide direction as to the nominees. And with that, I would like to read the recommendation. Staff recommends that the board elect the following 4 board officers and the 2 appointed officers at the January 22nd, 2024 regular board meeting. Board officers of President, Vice President, Treasurer, Secretary, and appointed officers of Deputy Treasurer and Deputy Secretary.
Okay, very good. Thank you. very procedural. So usually what we've been doing the last few years is it just moves forward to the full board. These basically blank. So.
I would support
Rick
that.
Williams, okay, Rick Williams supports. And you have any questions? You're good right now. Now, one other thing is that obviously Mary Ann has retired.
That is correct.
So of course, by our board meeting, you'll be doing another name, I assume, to.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right, so with that, we'll move this forward. I guess we do it with no recommendation, huh, technically, right?
That is how we've done it in the past.
And it'll be an item on the action calendar. Board meeting. Okay, thank you for that one. 5C, as in cat, Local Agency Formation Commission, nomination for Special District Representative, EJ.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This item will be handled by Desiree Quintero, our Manager of Administration. And of course, I'm available to answer any questions that you may have.
Item 5C, LAFCO nomination for special district representative can be found beginning on packet page 13. Since 1994, special districts in Los Angeles County have been represented by 2 members of the Los Angeles Formation Commission. The term of office of one of those representatives, Donald Deere, expires in May. Director Deere requests that the board consider nominating him as a candidate for appointment as special district representative to LAFCO for a 4-year term beginning May 6, 2024 and ending May 1st, 2028. By law, independent special district seats of LAFCO are filled by the Special District Selection Committee. The committee is made up of the presiding officers of each independent special district in Los Angeles County. Nominations for the committee's consideration must be submitted by 5 p.m. on February 29th, 2024, as noted in the memo received from LAFCO, which is included as attachment A and can be found on packet page 15. After nominations are received, each district will receive a complete package of nominee resumes together with the ballot for consideration by the presiding officer of each board. Voting will be conducted by mailed ballot. With that, I would like to read the recommendation that the board consider nominating Donald L. Deere as candidate for appointment as special district representative to the Los Angeles Local Agency Formation Commission for a 4-year term beginning May 6, 2024 and ending May 1st, 2028.
Thank you, Desiree. So with this one, Director Williams, you get to go first.
No, thank you. I move staff's recommendation.
Very good. Director Deere, any comment since you're here?
Thank you all very much.
And I would concur with Director Williams that we support Director Deere for this. It seems to me if it goes from recommendation, both of us, it just to be on consent, right, EJ? I'd like that on the consent. That'd be great. All right, thank you, and thank you, Don, for your continued service. And let's get the paperwork in after our board meeting. Okay, next is item 5B as in dog, approval of staff travel.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Item 5D begins on packet page 18, and it is related to the International Institute of Municipal Clerks, the IIMC. This organization was founded in 1947 and has 75 years of experience improving the professionalism of municipal clerks. IIMC has more than 15,000 members representing towns, small municipalities, and large urban jurisdictions of more than several million people, and it's affiliated with 49 U.S. and 9 Canadian associations. This is a conference that staff does attend annually, and I believe it does state in the board memo that the last 2 were held in Arkansas and Minnesota, respectively. First, per the administrative code, travel authorization, employees may travel within the United States for district-related business with general manager or designee's authorization, or outside the United States with board approval. It is recommended that our manager of administration, our board secretary, Desiree Quintero, attend this conference. This is done in the natural course of her duties here at West Basin Municipal Water District, as she has attended these conferences in the past, and we do not anticipate the expense of this event to be any more or less than the previous held in Minnesota. So with that, the May 19th and May 22nd event will be held in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And with that, my recommendation is that the board approve the travel authorization for Board Secretary Desiree Quintero to attend the International Institute of Municipal Clerks Conference being held in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, from May 19th through May 22nd of 2020. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, so Director Williams, any questions?
No questions. I'd just like to approve staff's recommendation.
Very good, thank you. Director Gear.
No, I agree.
Okay, and I also concur, and I think most everybody knows I'm very supportive of staff, professional development. So I'm happy to support the item. I'm gonna say, I think that, by the way, it doesn't even interfere with our board meeting that month, if I'm not mistaken, on our calendar, so. Anyway, I fully support it. Oh, and I saw we have plenty of money in our budget. So I'm happy to, Desiree, do what she needs to do on behalf of the district. So with that, you've got two in concurrence to move it to the agenda. The recommendation of yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Very good, thank you. Item 5E, as in Edward. Approve sponsorship of fiscal year 2023-24 community outreach events. BJ.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This item, 5E, will be handled by Hazel Velasquez, our Deputy Board Secretary, too.
Okay, good morning, President Houston, members of the committee and board. If I can turn your attention to packet page 24, where item 5E begins. I have one item for your consideration today, and this is on behalf of Director Houston, who requests consideration for West Basin to sponsor the Culver City Rotary Community Foundation's Empty Bowl event that is scheduled to be held on Sunday, February 25th, 2024. At this time, Director Houston would like the board to consider a $1,000 sponsorship, and that would grant West Basin an advertisement promoting district awareness. Now, West Basin has not previously sponsored this event, but additional information regarding the sponsorship request can be found in attachment A, and that begins on packet page 26. Additionally, just going over the fiscal impact that can be found at the bottom of packet page 24. The budget includes an amount of $75,000 for fiscal year 23-24. Approval of this sponsorship at the $1,000 that are being requested would leave a remaining budget of $33,450. And you can see details regarding that running budget in attachment B, and that begins on packet page 34. With that, I can turn your attention to packet page 25, and I will read the recommendation. Director Houston requests that the board consider approving sponsorship of the Culver City Rotary Community Foundation's Empty Bowl event scheduled to be held on Sunday, February 25th, 2024, in the amount of $1,000. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
Great, thank you very much, Hazel. And I just want to say really quick on this too, because we have never supported this one before. But actually, the Culver City Rotary Club brought it to my attention while we were at National Night Out, where they had a booth near our booth. And then we did two things that day. That's also where I asked them if they would help me do the rain barrel distribution, which of course they said yes. But secondly, Carmela, who runs their organization, brought this to my attention. It just sounds so interesting and neat. And so I just asked if she would, send us the paperwork and let's look at it. So anyway, I hope I'll support it. I think it's a neat program. But super excited about that. So, Director Wood.
No questions?
Okay.
I move, I would support it.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. Any questions, Director Deere?
No.
Okay, thank you. So, I concur with Director Williams. We will forward this to the board, the recommendation of yes. Thank you very much, everybody. Next is 5F as in Frank. Approval of new billing rate for security guard services. EJ.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This item 5F will be presented by Lisa Mecenas-Fidelio, our Manager of Human Resources.
Thank you, EJ. Good morning, Chairman Houston and members of the board. I'm here to present item 5F, approval of new billing rates for security guard services, beginning on page 35. West Basin Municipal Water District contracts for security guard services at its Donald L. Deere Building. The agreement with the current provider, Absolute International Security, AIS, will expire on June 30th, 2024. Currently, AIS bills the district at a rate of $26.15 per hour for security guard services. AIS has informed staff that their hourly rate will increase to $27.80 effective January 1, 2024, due to the increase to the minimum wage and significant increases to their payroll taxes and insurance, along with an increase in operational overhead costs. In December 2020, the board approved a 3-year professional service agreement with AIS commencing on January 1, 2021 and ending on December 31st, 2023. In September 2023, staff amended the professional service agreement with AIS to reflect a 6-month extension, which will expire on June 30th, 2024. Staff has started the request for proposal process for a new security contract with the anticipation of bringing a recommendation to the board in April with an effective date of May 1, 2024. With that said, the recommendation is that the board accept and approve payments to Absolute International Security at the new rate of $27.80 per hour for security guard services. And with that, I will be happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Well, let me just ask a question in the sense that, so we had the 3-year agreement, but we extended it for another 6 months. I don't recall that, or did that go to the board?
No, because we only just extended for services alone. The reason we extended it is because of staff turnover. I inherited the contract and was unaware of the expiration date.
Okay.
So I requested for extension of services. We do still have money on that contract to extend. So that's the direction we went. And now we are in the process of doing an RFP to secure new services for prior to that contract ending.
Okay, very good. And then the second question is, and I don't know what the contract looks like, and it's not in here, but is this normal that with the wage rates and such going up, that this vendor or any vendor would come asking us to supplement or supplant, what they already had?
It is ideal because the wages have increased for California. So in order for them to supplement their staff, the increase is necessary.
Mr. Chairman, we see this request on a number of our different agreements. Oftentimes we enter into agreements for multiple years and their salary schedules increase. And of course, we always bring those back. In this case, we did amend the agreement just to extend the time period to allow us to go to RFP. So we maintain that existing rate schedule, but that has gone up. And a good example of this situation happening is actually the South Bay Cities Council of Governments.
Mm-hmm.
Where they do adopt new rate schedules and we do bring those forward as well.
Okay. That's one other thing, but let me see if Director Williams, you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, my question is to the general manager. Are you happy with the services we've been getting from this organization?
I'm satisfied with the services that we're getting from our security guard. I think that looking at the scope of work and the services that we receive is something that I'd like to see happen. And that's the reason for the RFP. Let's go out and see. But taking on this, the new adopted rate schedule will allow us to maintain the services for the next 6 months and go out to RFP to see what the market bears.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm okay with it. So we'll, my recommendation is put the board. Yes.
Yeah.
Concur?
No objection.
Great. So Director Williams concurs. And now I do want to ask, and I don't know if you can or not, but can you include any backup paperwork with this for the board packet? EJ? You can tell me now. Is it something where you can include the original contract and the letter where they're asking this adjustment be made?
Happy to do that.
Is that all good? Okay. It's a public agency and it's pretty well a public document, right? So that way all the directors can see that. And this will go on consent though, right? Unless somebody wants to pull it.
Somebody wants to pull it, but we'll add those documents to that.
That'd be great. And I would ask, as much as we can always do that up front, let's just do it. that way.
Bunch of stuff, please. I would
Right there. Okay, so sounds like we're good. Anything else?
That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you and thank you. 5G, right?
That is correct.
So 5G, adopt a resolution number 01-24-1202 Administrative Code Revisions, Part 3, Human Resources. So EJ, take it away.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This item does begin on packet page 37. And again, for this presentation, we have our Manager of Human Resources, Ms. Bedelia.
So I am presenting, item number 5G, to adopt a resolution number 0124-1202, the Administrative Code Revisions to Part 3, Human Resources section. West Basin Municipal Water District employees are governed by the policies and procedures as referenced in the Administrative Code Part 3, which pertains to the Human Resources Employees Benefits, which was last updated in December 2021. A review committee made up of the district administration, human resources, and finance department staff regularly reviewed Part 3 of the code to ensure necessary amendments are made pursuant to changes in the law or other required changes. After a thorough review, numerous revisions have been made to add clarifying and new language regarding leaves. As required, staff must periodically review these policies to update for any changes in federal and California labor laws to remain in compliance with the IRS codes and regulations, to maintain effective policies that govern employment and to ensure best management employment practices. Based on staff review of Part 3, the Human Resources section, there are recommended changes as noted below for the board's consideration. These amendments have been reviewed by District Council Best and Kiger. District Council has prepared a resolution to incorporate the changes in the code as follows. So the red line copy of the admin code starts on page 41. There's only four main sections that were changed. Section 34404, the sick leave. There was, due to the Assembly Bill 1041, we added the language in regards to designated individuals.
Hold on, sorry. Which page, John?
If you start on the red line copy, it starts on page 41.
Okay, 41. Go ahead.
So in this section, we made a minor change to clarify language in regards to the vacation leave. On section 34403, we also made clarifications in regards to district holidays. 34404 sick leave policy. This is the main one where we made changes in regards to Assembly Bill 1041 in regards to designated individual, basically meaning that an employee can designate a friend or not a family member to take care of for sick leave. 34405, we actually separated the sick leave to specify regular part-time employees versus seasonal and temporary employees. And 34406, we added the language due to Senate Bill 616, replacing 24 hours of sick leave for part-time individuals to 40 hours of sick leave. And on page 65, which is also the other main change, which is 34412 section, in regards to reproductive loss, that there is a new policy based on the Senate Bill 848 to provide time off for those affected by a reproductive loss. So with that said, the recommendation is that the board approves, adopts, and authorizes the president to sign resolution number 01241202, resolution of the Board of Directors of West Basin Municipal Water District, amending the West Basin Municipal Water District Administrative Code sections 34401, 34403, 34404, 34405, 34406, and 34412, With that, that concludes my presentation, and if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Director Williams, any questions?
No questions.
Questions, Director? And I believe you already said the legal counsel was the one that helped make this change, is correct? So the legal counsel is obviously comfortable with this. Very good. Well, with that, I also concur that we should just move this forward to the board, a recommendation of yes. Adjust our code accordingly. And Director Williams already said yes, so let's go ahead and do that, Jay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 5H, adopt resolution number 01-24-1200 and resolution number 01-24-1201, financial policy.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This item 5H, will be presented by Wendy Nakamura, our interim manager of finance.
Hi, good afternoon, members of the committee and board. I will start off this agenda item. I will present the agenda item number 5H, which begins on board packet page 108. Financial policy updates that we are bringing today are the investment and debt management policy. West Basin maintains several financial policies within its administrative code, part 4, chapter 1. On an annual basis, staff reviews its financial policies to ensure the policies are kept current and reflect changes in laws, best practices, and provides financial flexibility that is appropriate for West Basin to manage its debt and investment. Starting with the investment policy. To assist in the review of the investment policy, staff requested Chandler Asset Management, our investment manager, to provide suggestions, additions, and/or changes. In addition, District Council has prepared a resolution to incorporate the changes into the administrative code. So starting with packet page 120, is attachment A, which is the policy, which includes red line changes that we have. So the first change would be 4-1.209N. Language was added to exempt the limitations placed on asset-backed and mortgage-backed securities. We also added language that said consumer receivable-backed bonds not defined in sections F and G. Sections S and G refer to U.S. Treasury and federal agencies, which could be found further in the policy. The next item that was changed was on packet, you can find on packet page 121. We added a new item, 4-1.210 collateralization. Section A refers to the collateralization of CDs and section B refers to bank deposits. Both sections state that the district shall require any bank or financial institution to comply with the collateralization criteria defined in the California Government Code. We thought it was prudent to specifically state this in our policy. And once the policy is adopted, we will be reaching out to our existing banks to ensure that they are compliant with this code. The final changes can be found in the definition section of the policy, beginning on packet page 126. On 126, you will see the definition of debenture has been redlined. I apologize for that. So that is being removed as the term is not currently used in the policy. The next change can be found on packet page 127. That has to do with maturity, the date upon which the principal or stated value of an investment becomes due and payable. The investment terms or remaining maturity is measured from the settlement date to final maturity. Many times you have a trade date, a settlement date, and then the days to maturity. So this is just defining that we will be calculating from settlement date. The next items you can find are on packet pages 128 and 129. The definitions for qualified public depositories, structured notes, swaps have been removed as we currently do not have these types of investments in our portfolio. Pages 131 and 133 are the resolution as were given to us by BBK. And that concludes the changes for the investment policy. I will hand it over to Wendy to go over the debt management policy.
Good morning, directors. I will ask the director to turn back on page 109. As Samuel mentioned earlier, is the best business practice that we were recommended that to review our investment policy and debt policy and as far as other policy we have on the annual basis. For the second policy, we recommended any changes to be made this year is the debt policy, which is, I'm on page 109. West Basin staff reviewed the debt policy with municipal advisor PFM. There's only two changes we made for that policy. The first one basically is changing executive manager of finance to the chief finance officer throughout our policy to match with the position currently listed on the organization chart. The second one is removing the language of swap, which is on your package number 137. We kind of removed the entire paragraph since West Basin terminated the swap on March 1, 2023. So there's no swap existing at West Basin, so this paragraph is being removed. Those are the only two changes is recommended to make for this fiscal year. If there is no any other questions, I will read the recommendations.
Read the recommendation.
Is it prudent to get rid of the swap policy? If you want to have a future, you have to have a new policy, right?
The swap policy was already removed based on the board of direction
Okay.
last year.
All right.
Yeah. So the recommendation is on page 109. We recommend the board to adopt resolution number 0124 1200 and then 1201, adopting the changes of investment policy and debt policy.
All right, thank you very much. Question, Director Williams.
No question, just a comment. This has been reviewed by the general manager, correct?
That is correct.
Then I have no questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Director Gear. And by the way, I think if we want to put the swap policy back in place, we can do that.
Sure.
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay, I guess my only question is that, it's an easy question. It's, our financial advisors is Chandler, right? Chandler?
PFM.
PFM.
Chandler is the investment advisor.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But between all of them
Yes.
and legal counsel and general manager,
Yes.
everyone's in concurrence.
That's correct.
This is all agreeable. Okay, very good. So with that, I move staff's recommendation of full board for approval. And Director Williams
Concur.
concurs. All right. Thank you very much. I don't know who does all the red lines, but thank you for that. Going in and changing documents is always fun, right? We're moving right along. So 6, information calendar. 6A, procurement outreach efforts. EJ.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This item is going to be presented by Joanna Garcia Singleton, our contracts administrator. But before she begins, I just wanted to note that this is a new information item. We want to bring it back, and we'll bring this back periodically. This is a specific response to the questions and direction provided by this committee and the board in terms of our procurement outreach and really trying to find small businesses and local businesses to do business with West Basin Municipal Water District. And one specific engineering operations committee was discussed that we received, I think, one bid on one of our procurement opportunities. And before I had the opportunity to get back to my desk, Our contracts administrators were already in communication with our engineering operations team, really outlining everything that we do and what we could do to improve this. And so I'm excited to have this presentation for you here today, and I'll hand it off to Joanna.
Thank you, EJ, and good afternoon, Chairman Houston and members of the committee and board. As EJ mentioned, the Contracts Department recently conducted a thorough review and reevaluation of West Basin's procurement outreach efforts. The primary goal is to enhance vendor participation in our solicitation processes. Today, I'm delighted to provide an overview of West Basin's most recent procurement outreach initiatives and upcoming developments in 2024. So I would like to turn your attention over to packet page 159, where you can see our current efforts and accomplishments achieved in 2023. First, in July 2023, we transitioned to an enhanced e-procurement system, which enables automatic integration and sharing of all solicitations directly on the district's website. The e-procurement system also notifies interested vendors via email through a commodity code matching system. Moving on to number 2 with social media engagement. All district solicitations are advertised on social media to expand the reach of solicitations to a wider audience. Next, we attend various industry outreach events. We attended the METWorks Industry Day at the Carson Event Center on February 2nd, 2023. The METWorks Industry Day at Moreno Valley Event Center on September 14, 2023. Southern California Water Utility Association Vendor Fair on October 19, and the Regional Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Business Development Conference on October 20th, 2023. Moving on to number 4, as far as vendor engagement, we do maintain a proactive approach to engage vendors. The Engineering and Operations Department conduct vendor tours, introduction meetings, and provide comprehensive overviews of our capital improvement projects with vendors, contractors. We also contact prospective bidders who choose not to bid on projects to understand the reasoning for their no bid. Moving on to number 5, which is on page 160. We obtained the vendor or contractors lists from Metropolitan Water District and Water Replenishment District, WRD, which resulted in an increased vendor participation in recent solicitations. For example, the low bid that we received for our recent ECL disinfected tertiary product pump and VFD solicitation was a new vendor that was identified through WRD's bidders list. And then the low bid that we received for the PV pump station was also a new vendor obtained from MWD's bidders list. Next, we introduced a new Water Harvest Doing Business with Us and Careers booth, and we distributed information on how to do business with West Basin, as well as information on different careers in the water industry. Moving on to number 7, vendor satisfaction survey. We launched a comprehensive vendor satisfaction survey to gather insights and feedback from our vendors. The survey was sent out to about 4,600 vendors. However, we only received about 30 responses, but those 30 responses illuminated key areas of success and areas where improvement may be needed. And then moving on to number 8, there was a request, I believe it was at the E&O committee, to look into print ads for solicitations. Staff is currently assessing the various different advertising outlets that will align with our goals and our target audience. So that's kind of 2023 leading into 2024 as well. We're still looking into that. So as we move forward into 2024, we anticipate additional opportunities to further enhance our procurement outreach, including attendance at industry outreach events. So we are committed to sustaining active participation at a minimum of 4 vendor outreach events per year. The first outreach event is scheduled is LADWP Supplier Diversity Fair on February 22nd, sorry. Next, we are working on a procurement newsletter. We're aiming to release this procurement newsletter in March. of 2024 to keep vendors informed about upcoming opportunities and procurement updates. We are aiming to host a webinar in the springtime. We're coordinating the webinar with a business resource center called Apex Accelerators, the Small Business Administration. We also were able to get WRD, MWD, and LADWP to partner with us on that webinar. So we'll bring in all of their vendors as well. This webinar will provide valuable insights into doing business with government agencies and an introduction into upcoming projects for all. Next, collaboration with the State Controller Construction Trade Journals. We are going to look into how we can partner and proactively share our solicitations with these construction trade journals to further expand our reach. And then last, partnership with local Chamber of Commerce, business associations, and labor unions. We are looking to explore options to partner with these agencies to help boost our solicitation outreach and foster collaborative relationships within the community. We believe that these actions underscore our commitment to fostering vendor relationships and increasing our outreach. Thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to address any questions.
All right, well, thank you very much. Star Director Williams, any questions or comments?
No question, comments.
Okay.
Very good report.
It?
That's it.
Okay. Director Gibb. I don't have a whole lot to add either, although thank you very much. And I know we have discussed this for a number of years from the board's perspective of how we outreach, let people know about opportunities. I know we did upgrade the procurement system, which hopefully is helping us a lot. I had a question or two, very brief, on your social media engagement, which I have seen. Is that working? Are we getting people who are saying, I saw it on something? And I'm assuming LinkedIn is probably most likely, but have you got any feedback that that's helping or not?
Yeah, I think we only post on LinkedIn. I personally have not heard
No worries.
from a contractor that they saw our solicitations through LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm not sure. EJ or any of the project managers have that I have.
I've not heard. I think that from my perspective, it's just a matter of having a comprehensive effort, doing everything that we can as we continue to build our brand on our social media sites. Hopefully we see a little bit more of that. Again, you get more people tracking our activities, and that's going to lead to some more activities. So this is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's a long-term strategy. And I'm hopeful that all of these things individually and collectively will help us out.
Really, that's a really diplomatic, good answer. No, I think probably LinkedIn would be the one place you'd probably put something like this, and I agree. Anything and everything to help. The one thing I'll just say on the print ads for solicitation, and I do understand there was some thoughts on that, and staff need to look at that because you have to be, in my opinion, probably very judicious. I assume it would be certain trade newspapers and magazines or something, just, and I don't know how many people are looking through a lot of print, but certainly, yeah, this is just my perspective. I would not waste my money on local newspapers in the South Bay to advertise these types of opportunities. So these are we're so specific. So hopefully staff be very judicious in whatever you decide upon, even though I do understand that was one of the requests, but it's really up to you all to manage what we realistically do and where are those eyeballs coming from. So anyway, so EJ, I know you'll watch that. So yes. Okay, well, thank you very, very much. This was an information item. And I do also applaud you all to do the best you can. And lastly, I know even with some of the, there's these vendor fairs and job fairs and certain things, we know that some of them just are not the demographic of what you're trying to accomplish, even in our region. So I understand the same story. Staff has to be very judicious on where we're present or not present. We don't need to be there just because board members or whoever else does, you should be there. I would like you guys to make really conscientious decisions on the time and the efforts for the ROI. So, thank you. Thank you very much. 6B is in boy fiscal year 23-24 half-year financial review.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So this item is, as you mentioned, our half-year financial review. For this presentation, we have Wendy Nakamura, our interim manager of finance, as well as Allison Tong, our accountant two. And this item is kind of an initial look at the half-year financial review. This will be followed up next month when we'll have more of a complete picture of what happened in this first half year. So with that, I'll hand it over to Wendy and Allison.
Thank you, EJ. Good afternoon again. I will start at page 162. Per request from a board of directors, the finance department is presenting the fiscal year 24 half-year financial review. We use fiscal year 23 budget and actual information as a comparison. The goal for this review is to use fiscal year 23 and the first 6 months of fiscal year 24 to project the financial outlook and debt coverage for fiscal year 24. Some of the key points may also be further discussed during the upcoming fiscal year 25 budget process with the board. At December 2023 board meeting, fiscal year 23 audit financial statement were presenting to the board. At the time, financial department calculating the debt coverage for the year is 1.36. However, we prepare a worksheet, which is you can see sort of in the bottom of page 162. This worksheet shows West Basin Water District really on grant to meet the debt coverage. There is in fiscal year 23, we had a $3.7 million grant that we used to calculating the final debt coverage of 1.36. If we are taking the 3.7 million grant out of the calculation, our debt coverage will be down to 1.16. It is lower than the 2.0 required by our loan number we signed with the state of California for the PV lateral project. And then turn to page 163. In the first 6 months, fiscal year 2024, West Basin had a net revenue of 16 million that the coverage currently calculating as 1.61. And then we showed our Howey calculation in the middle of the page. And then we compare with our annual budget, which is we calculating the debt coverage going to be for the year is 1.49. However, it's the same information we want to bring to the board is when we calculating the budget debt coverage 1.49, we're including the $8.4 million grant for the year to be received. If we are not receiving the 8.4 million grant, then the debt coverage could be down to 1.09. Based on the projected potable water sales in the next 6 months for fiscal year 24, there's a possibility that West Basin will not be able to collect $2.7 million from the reliability service charge at the year end due to the lower than expected potable water sales. So we presenting a table on the bottom of page 163, which is for the entire year 24, the potable water sales we budgeted as 95,000 acre feet. The recent projection that we have is probably we're going to be end up selling 85,000 acre feet, which is going to be a 10,000 acre feet short than the budget. And the reliability service charge, currently we charge $275 per acre feet. So if that is the case, how we calculating is we are not able to collecting the $2.7 million based on the lower than expected sales of potable water. Further down, we're looking at our expenses. So they are budgeted found in the technical planning department that we may not be spending in this fiscal year, which is listed on page 164. There is a two budget that one is for the LOE sanitation MBR. There's $1 million we plan to spending. And then also there was interconnection feasibility studies, $1.5 million that currently has not been going forward. So for the conclusion is the potable water, we're expecting less revenue collection of 2.7 million, but then, you know, some of our projects we're not moving forward. So we probably going to save expenses of $2.6 million. We're expecting at the year end, that coverage will be landed around 1.5. My colleague Allison Tong will continue giving a presentation.
If I have you turn to packet page 166, it's the beginning of the PowerPoint presentation. If you move forward to packet page 168 and 169, these were our projected actuals as of December, but Sandra will go into detail with the handout after this, so I'm not going to really go over these with you. But it does give you a little bit more context about the projected revenues that Wendy has mentioned. If we may move on to packet page 170, we can look at our other revenues. Here you'll see our half-year projected actuals is a total about 87,383, and our annual budget is about 8.3 million. As you can see, for our technical planning contributions and the second line, the grants and contribution line, we haven't collected any funds yet. As Wendy mentioned, that we do have about 1.5 million saved for projects that haven't started yet for the feasibility studies, but we also do have expected contributions. So if those projects are able to start, we also have expected contributions to come in. So they could slightly offset each other as well when we get those started. Then you'll see the grants and contribution for 7.3 million, which we haven't collected any funds yet. At the bottom of that slide, you'll see that where we plan on collecting those funds from. We have to wait for these projects to complete. So the JMM phase 2 and the PV lateral, once those projects are completed, then we can actually go back to our partners and collect funds from them. I can pause here for any questions before I move on to the expense slide.
Questions?
So the expense slides will actually start on packet page 172. It's the recycling operations that we'll go through first. But if I have you look at the bottom, you'll see the half-year projected actuals are about 28 million, and our half-year budget is about 30 million. So you see we have a pretty favorable variance, about 1.7. But if you go to the following packet page 173, you can go more in details about two of the variances, such as the chemicals and utilities. So for the chemicals, the half-year actuals are about 7.9, and our half-year budget was about 11. You're seeing this great savings because our water quality has been a lot better than last year when we were putting our budget together. Also, our operations team and our contract operations team, Veolia, had put together a special task force to help mitigate our water quality issues that we experienced last year. So you'll see some maintenance costs that went up, but you also see a great savings in our chemicals as a result of that. In addition, we are just not selling as much recycled water a little bit, so that's why you see a little bit additional savings. The next item I want to point out is the utilities, which is the half-year projected actuals are about 7 million, and our budget is about 6 million. And the reason why you're seeing this unfavorable variance is because we did have to
purchase potable water for our recycled water system when there was a minor disruption. Also, we did receive some bills that our operations team is disputing with our utility provider. And this total 7 million does include what was billed to us, but we are disputing some of those costs. I'm going to move over to the public information and education slide on the packet page 174. Here you'll see the half-year actuals are about 1.6 and the budget is about 2.4 for the half year. Things I want to point out is the education outreach and development. You see that cost about 43,000 and our planned budget is about 183. Again, as you know, this is really for education programs and schools don't really start until end of August, September. So these programs start later. And of course, the last one up here, it was the water harvest. You'll see our total half-year projected actual is about 154,000, and our annual budget is 184. We do expect the minor costs to trickle in when we finalize the numbers, but it should be well within the annual budget overall. And the packet page 175 is the water use efficiency program. Here you'll see the total half-year actuals are about $1 million, and our half-year budget is about 1.4. There are some programs that haven't kicked off yet, which is why you see it zero cost at the moment. And also for the grass removal program, as you know, we have received a lot of applications while we up the budget, but until they're completed, we cannot actually pass out this one. So that's why you sort of see the variance there. The next one is the water policy on packet page 176. Here you see the half-year projected actuals are about 957,000. And the mid-year budget was 552,000. And you'll see it's the very top line, the labor and benefits line, where you see this variance. And it's because we actually have a lot of our staff working and being compliant with grants, and we have to charge our time here, unfortunately. So that's where you see the costs go up there. And the last one is the technical planning before I can take any questions. So technical planning starts on packet page 177. Here, the half-year projected actuals are about 275,000, and the half-year budget is about 2.2 million. Again, as Wendy mentioned, certain programs haven't started, such as the feasibility studies. And the bottom here, you see what all those feasibility studies include. And so if we do are able to get to these studies, the 1.5 million would be offset by contribution vote. Can answer any questions that you may have. I try to power through.
Okay, is that the whole presentation?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. Director Williams, any questions?
Good job.
Director Deere. Let's see, I think my only question just in the very beginning, so on that page 162.
Yeah.
And going out behind it, I mean, I understand everything you're saying, but remind us, what is it our target debt coverage ratio is? What was that?
Currently is 1.2.
1.2?
Yes, because we signed the loan document with the state of California for the Palos Verde lateral project.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
to clarify, that is the minimum
The minimum.
Yes.
debt coverage.
And then, but I mean, when I look at these right at the bottom, you know, with the debt coverage with grants, without grants, and just how are we tracking in the big picture? You know, just, I mean, are we comfortable with where we're at? You know, in lay people's terms with this budget at the moment versus actual.
I personally am comfortable, but I think that this really shines a light on how we budget and adopt our rates annually. I know that in the past, the discussion has been specifically related to the debt coverage. And it's been by the committee and board, a discussion of, well, what are our legal obligations? And what you just heard is that 1.2 is the minimum based off of our agreement with the state of California. However, we do have a policy here at West Basin that I believe is at 1.75 in our strategic business plan. And so as we adopt a budget and adopt the rates to approve that budget, We should always be looking at that 1.75. This is part of our cost of service study. You've heard presentations specifically related to the debt coverage, but I'll let Wendy kind of expand a little bit on our comfortability right now.
Yeah, so I think one, West Basin currently is being rated AA minus by Moody's and S&P Global. So when we're looking at the rating agency is looking for stability of the organization. And then when they're looking for stability, they're looking for what is the nature of your business. So for our nature is a wholesale of water, right? So they would rather to see, the water rate, our revenue reflecting how we're going to make the debt coverage, instead of actually looking for if we are able to receive in the grant to make the debt coverage. Also, the thing is the grant is very risky. It depends on, some years we probably receiving nothing, some year we receiving some. So it is, I think it should be an important issue for the board to discuss in the coming budget season to say, what is our direction we're going to be heading in the next couple of years when we're doing budget.
Yeah. Okay, good. And by the way, just so I know, so is there a typo in that sentence right before the charts? It says lower than the 2.0 required by the loan agreement? Or you said there was lower than the 1.2 required, or am I missing something?
I think
No.
you're correct.
Oh, it's
The way that that's written?
okay.
You see that?
Oh, yeah. That's probably a typo.
Okay.
Oh, look, thank you.
Got it. Because even, how is it? So, okay, so lower than the 1.2 required. And what would that mean? If we signed an agreement with the state, what would that mean if we stay below that number? What's the consequence?
Well, I think actually I had asked a question to our financial advisor, and also they actually did a research about what if we're not able to meet. And then like today, they sent in this whole email about what the consequences if we're not going to be meeting this goal. I'm happy to forward this email to the board. I think there's some sensitive information,
Yeah.
regarding this email.
Maybe it doesn't even forward the moment to it, but maybe it's something that the general manager can explain to us, especially maybe if the question gets brought up at the full board meeting and when we go into our budget workshops, et cetera, just so we know. Because obviously this is something that we could adjust along the way if we have to in order to make sure I'm meeting obligation. And I'm
We'll be closely tracking that.
there you go. And I'm assuming it's probably within a certain time period, right? I mean, it's, you can adjust things where they're making sure you stay in compliance. Okay.
Yeah, but something I'm able to share is it did say, the bond council did say, if we are not able to meet the debt coverage, we needed to let the state California know within 5 business days.
Okay.
And then, they are able to take actions such as taking all the money they have already given to us back. And then also they are able to call other actions like, increase the current rate that they're, 1%, they agree upon, they can increase much higher. Yeah, so but I will forward this email to general manager and then forward to the board.
And the other thing in all this, I do understand, I think we do it, it's like these are snapshots and things at the moment. So you all the ones who are going to track this accordingly. All right. Looking through this, I don't have any other questions. at the moment. Any other questions?
Thank you.
No. Okay. I want to say thank you very much on that. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to leave, but there's only one more item. It's an easy item. You can,
One more item. This is all the informational stuff, right?
here's one more, just the monthly financial. Yeah, yeah. So with that, I'm
I
gonna,
think we can handle it.
I'm gonna hand the gavel over to Director Williams. Not yet. And then he can keep running the side. Thank you very much. Director.
Okay, so that takes us to item number 6C.
That is correct, and it is just our monthly financial report. And for this presentation, we have Sandra Ruiz, our accountant too.
Good afternoon again, members of the committee and board. I will be presenting agenda item 6C, which begins on packet page 179, the monthly financial report. As required by West Basin Administrative Code, staff is required to submit various financial reports to the board to keep them appraised of the financial condition and future needs of the district. With that, if I could ask you to turn to packet page 181, we will begin with item 6CA, the demands list for the period ending December 31st, 2023. The report concludes on page 187, and you will see total expenditures for the month were 20.8 million. Of that, the Metropolitan Water District bill consisted of $11.0 million. One item of note would be the payments made to Veolia. If you turn to packet page 182, you will see halfway down check number 91525 was the payment made to Veolia for 4.1 million. This was for the invoices April, May, and September of 2023. Also within the month, another payment was made to Veolia on packet page 185 at the top. Check number 91582. Payment was made 1.6 million, and this was for the invoice for August 2023. Between those two payments to Met and Veolia, that consisted to about 80% of overall spent for the month. And with that, I will pause if there are any questions for the demands.
Any questions? Anything out of the ordinary? Why was it?
Veolia had some delays in getting their invoices out, and then there was a review process that delayed the payments.
Did we contribute to the delay?
I wouldn't say no.
Okay, very good.
Next item begins on packet page 188, item 6CB, the West Basin Cash and Investment Portfolio for the month ending December 31st, 2023. You will see the total market value for the month was 76.8 million. To the right is a pie chart where you will see that 37.5% of the portfolio made up of the investment pool. On the next page, packet page 189, is a bar graph for the credit quality distribution. This bar compares to last month, and you can see there are no major changes. The next page, packet page 190, is the maturity distribution. Portfolio continues to be very liquid. With that, on packet page 191, you will see the transaction ledger, which contains acquisitions and dispositions on the portfolio. You can see 3 purchases were made, all with high percentage rates of 4 point or above. So that's great. Packet pages 192 through 199 detail a listing of all the investment portfolio. Concluding on packet pages 200 to 203, where you will see your glossary terms and disclosures. And that concludes the cash and investment report. I pause for any questions.
Any questions? None here.
Okay.
Okay.
Next item on packet page 205, item 6BC is the monthly water sales. Top graph shows the imported retail for the month of December, which was 6,757 acre feet. That brings the year-to-date total to 46,900 965 acre feet. I will say that in December, the rain was 2.82 inches. We had a high of 70.5 and a low of 53.2. We believe conservation efforts are still holding true and people are just not using as much water as they were before.
Very good.
Second graph shows the imported barrier of 1,017 acre feet. The breakdown was West Coast barrier 881 acre feet and Dominguez Gap was at 136 acre feet. The next page, packet page 205, shows the recycled water. You will see for December, 2,214 acre feet was sold, bringing the year to date 16,269 acre feet. If we look at the table below, you will see barrier was at 351 acre feet, which was lower than last year. And the refineries were at 1632 with disinfected tertiary at 231. With that, I will pause if there are any questions to this report.
Questions? No, thank you.
And the final item on the monthly financial report is item 6CD, which begins on packet page 206. This is the director's conference and travel expenses through December 2023. And then packet page 207 is executive management and staff travel expense. And with that, that concludes the monthly.
Questions? Comments? Excuse me. I think we need to do more traveling.
Take advantage of one-way trips, huh?
That's it for item C. 6C.
That is correct.
Okay, then. Thank you very much. This moves us to item 7, which says closed session.
We have no closed session items.
No closed session. Next, item 8, director's comments, future agenda item.
I think the reports given today were very, very clear and concise, and easy to understand. Appreciate it very much.
All right. Who gets that credit?
Yeah.
All right. That's where the real work is done, right? Okay. That's it. Thank you very much. We will, if no one objects, we'll adjourn.
Thank you very much.